Evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday, April 6th council meeting. Ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Patricelli.
Present. Councilwoman
Dunn.
Present.
Councilman Dawes.
Here. Okay. Ask everybody to please stand for our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll ask the clerk to read the minutes of the previous meeting, please.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the March 16th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second. Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes.
In favor.
Councilwoman Dunn.
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli.
In favor. All right, we'll move into reports of officers and committee.
All right, from the General Manager's office, I have 6 items here tonight. We hired a sanitation worker based on the last announcement that was put out in the papers and on the website. And we are hiring 2 people. One is finishing up a background check, but the one that came back cleared will be starting on Monday. His name is Isan Pringle. There were 15 applicants, of which we interviewed 10, because 3 of those applicants were not City of Watervliet residents, and 2 did not return my calls for interviews. So out of the 9, we settled on 3 to go forward, and like I said, right now, 1 background check has come through, and we hired Isan Pringle starting on Monday. Mayor, you had the opportunity to meet him yesterday as well. Today we did the opening for the air conditioner bids for City Hall. We got 3 return responses out of 8 that of interest. Bid pricing went from the low bidder of $430,000 to $488,000. We will see this before the council on the 20th at the next meeting for the award of that. And we have contracts being signed shortly thereafter the award, and equipment and everything will be on hand early part of May with a completion date of mid-June, barring any issues through the course of construction.
So what kind of air conditioning system is it? Is it those?
Mini splits?
Yes.
Yeah, you see inside.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll have condensation lines and all that type of stuff, the freon lines that come in. All the units will be outside, and then you'll have, or condensers, I guess, will be outside. And then you'll have the wall units, and then some will be daisy chained. I think we're doing as much as 2. The maximum we're doing is 2 offices per unit. And then you'll see, units like this, where we'll have the air conditioning units come out. But it's also a heating unit too. So my hope with that is once we get the thermostatic controls on the boiler system, if you're getting some heat supplemental in the offices, it may not kick our boiler on so much. So we're hoping that it actually is a 2-fold component. I think, Mayor, you got one in your house that you use too. So. We met today with Centrica. They will be making a final presentation. They are the company that's handling the closeout of the streetlights. They're going to do a presentation with 4 scenarios for it, so we can figure out. The conversation we had today was also how we could use the cost of the air conditioning, the $430, putting that into our bonding or whatever we do in the future. But one of the things that came out of today's, and they'll make a presentation on the 20th, is the electrical system in the back here that we have. It's I think it's a Franklin Pierce, if I'm saying that name right, whatever it is. But it's a much older system. And if we're going to be using this as a comfort station, and I'm not saying a winter shelter, it's a comfort station, because if it's a comfort station, there are many other codes that we have to follow. And there's also you can't use a gas unit, you have to use a diesel. Not a compressor, generator backup. So it kicks it into a whole different type of pricing units and everything else. of which the electrical panel will have to be replaced. So it's about $170,000, actually $175,000 was the estimate I got today for that. And then the 3 sub-panels that are inside follow the same issue, which could potentially be another $75,000 as well. So that presentation, I prepare you now, but the project will be a little bit bigger here for the senior center. It's primarily going to be the air conditioning units and the splits and the software system like the smart system. But it looks like there might be issues further with the electrical needs of this building. We'll talk more about that at the next meeting. For those of you who parked in the parking lot, you can see the ADA ramp for the church is being constructed at this point. Concrete will be poured tomorrow, and then we'll come up out of the ground with the ramp itself once the footings are dried and settled. Also today, what was poured was the monument next to Selby's on 23rd Street. The contractor finished pouring that today, and which I didn't realize what was going to be a 12-inch wide is now 18 inches, and our bell is actually 22 inches, so we're in good shape with that one. And then lastly, I have before you pictures of the reservoir to have a conversation as to what we're going to try to do from a ramp that needs to be poured for access to the river or to the reservoir. I have pictures of the flash boards, which will also be another project that we have to design. And then on that picture of the reservoir itself, it shows you the parcel that we had received funding for, $480,000 award by the state, and that's the location of where that land is going to be. So that's pretty self-explanatory on the photo that I gave you. And if you travel a little bit up from that area to where the number 2 that is highlighted red, that's going to be the docking and ramping system, which I gave you. Here you can see that area. This ramp that we have designed, or at least a picture of it, you can see will allow a truck, allow a conveyor system, and allow to dock in the dock itself. What we need to do there, and we're going to do it at the same time we repair our flashboards, is we have to lower, as you see the flashboard here, we have a couple of breaches on the system with logs and things like that are over the flashboards and the spillway. We have to lower the reservoir 2.5 feet to be below the dam in order to do these repairs. Now in the late fall, early spring, we already bought the pipes already because they had a good price on them at that time, and we also bought the lumber already, and that's sitting up at the reservoir now. So we wanted to winter through, and hopefully it wasn't going to be an emergency, so it did work to our favor. And latter part of June, we're going to lower the reservoir, and at the same time we'll do repairs and the installation, improving the grade for the docking system. This will take about a week to 10 days to get this completed, so that's all the same timing. And that kind of piggybacks into the hash marks that you see on the reservoir. And that hash mark is what Dave and I have looked at to see that's a logical component of where we'll try to manage water chestnuts this year with the boat that we have, which is the Weeder boat, and work through those processes to get that done. But as I showed the mayor today, I found a better way to manage the boat or the weeds for next year, and it's a system that no longer needs a conveyor.
For next year or this year?
This year we're going to use the weed boat, but I can get the other one relatively quickly, but I have to do an RFP
Right.
to get the pricing. have that probably close to May with it. But I also have to, like, that RFP has to go out first in order to do something.
Right.
We have two ones not accounted for this year, but by the time we do get it in and everything, we're gonna be looking to lower the reservoir,
Right.
you know, with it. But we're gonna get a different boat that won't need a conveyor, won't need a barge. Pricing on that is $109,000 compared to 300 something for both pieces of equipment. So we don't have to buy those two other pieces of equipment in the upcoming year.
So we'd still use the Guido boat for what we did when we went out to see it.
Correct.
They
So
moved
that's
all of those, you know, whatever they were.
correct. As David said, he could take logs off of the
Yes.
logs off of the flashboards.
Yep.
He could move things around it. He could bring it up to the intake, clean those
Right.
out and use it. So that's not going to be money ill spent.
Okay.
That system will definitely be used for days to come. But I think you'll see the system that we're going to move towards is a lot better. It's an aluminum boat, stainless steel boat. It dredges, it can go into 12 inches of water. And again, because it's a lighter weight.
How big is it?
It's a lot
Pretty big.
bigger than what we had. I think it's about 22 feet, 25 feet long. It dredges, picks up, it has a conveyor. I showed the video to the mayor. And then the conveyor brings it into a holding bucket. And then when you come into to the design of this boat, you can have it come up, and that it actually turns around and flips, and it goes to a conveyor, and it offloads at a height, maximum height of 8 feet. So we have to really try to design this to be. But if we have to buy the conveyor, we get a price of $40,000 for that, and they are the cheapest, well below cheap compared to everybody else.
So, I heard just two things you said. Next year and this year. This year, we're getting the,
This year, we're using the WeDo boat to do,
well, how
This section.
are we gonna unload that?
well, that's gonna be off to the side and so on. But if we get that other one in time, then we're gonna be there.
So we are processing the other one now.
Again, RFP comes first
Right,
before
I get
any
that.
any commitment anywhere.
I get that.
Once we get that, we bring it before the council, and then we'll have that. They have two that are
Right.
on there. If we work fast enough, we can get that one and hold it and have it ready to go. So it could be before the end of May, but then we also have to look at is when we say we want to do the flashboards with it. Because like I said, we have to lower that 2.5 feet.
Does that have anything to do with the flash, or lowering it? To take care of the weeds? It doesn't have any,
Well, if it goes 2.5 feet, we have no way to get your boat to the edge of the water because it'll be about 5 or 6 feet away from the edge, the water line. So it's all a matter of timing, what we're gonna do.
and nobody says that's gonna happen the way we planned it anyway.
Well, but what could happen is, we could have a failure with the flashboards if we do that as an emergency basis. So we're trying to plan this properly and, do that somewhere around, end of May or middle of May, early June. And timing is all based on what happens. But Dave has, he says that reservoir will fill back up probably within a 2-week period. So we have to get the dock and everything built and the ramp built while the water's down. So timing's gonna be everything.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
She's, I asked her to come over, Erin's in the hallway
I see.
somewhere.
Yeah, I see.
So I asked her to come over. I don't think I
Okay.
told her.
Okay. All right, we'll move into old business, please,
Your Honor, there is no old business this evening.
and we'll go into new business.
The first order of new business is 2 proclamations. The first one is the Fair Housing Act, and the second is Arbor Day.
Yeah, I have 2 proclamations, as David mentioned. One will be for the proclamation for Arbor Day, which is something we do every year. It kind of like puts our stamp on the fact is that we are endorsing the Arbor Day process here. Also helps us with our Tree City USA grants, and it commits us to working toward the goals and objectives of Arbor Day. And that's the first one. And the second one is the anniversary is every April, marks the anniversary for the Fair Housing Act, and I so included that as a proclamation as well. Anything else? No? Okay. All right. And we'll move into the next one.
The next is ordinance number 1 for 2023. This is an ordinance amending section 260-48 of the Code of the City of Watervliet.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on ordinance number 1 for 2023.
And I'll second.
So as Dave mentioned, this ordinance is an amendment of section 260-48 of the code. If you read the ordinance I sent you yesterday, the street locations that we have on it, and I'll read them into the record. The name of the street that will have no truck signs on it is 19th Street. The location is at the corner of 19th and 10th, and it will be the northbound movement of 10th Avenue and terminating at 25th Street. And then the sister to that one is going to be the third item on the ordinance here. It's 10th Avenue, and it's 25th Street traveling southbound. That's because of some of the illegal movements that we've seen with trucks going both ways. And the other change is 23rd Street at the very tip of 12th Avenue, traveling eastbound 12th Avenue, terminating on 2nd Avenue. These are the truck movements that we've had conversations with the property owner at Stone Management, but also the mayor's been contacted as well as our office as to various times when trucks are making illegal movements, leaving Stone Management or some of the other industrial areas in the back. And these, we believe, will stop those movements going forward. So again, if I could read them into the record, 19th Street, and it's the corner of 10th Avenue, that's northbound, terminating at 25th Street. It's 10th Avenue, which is the sister one, going the opposite way, 25th Street to 19th Street, and then 23rd Street at the tip of 12th Avenue, traveling eastbound to 2nd Avenue.
And these are signs that are going up prohibiting truck traffic.
Yes, yes. You gave us a couple of different designs with it. I think we're going to settle on the one with no trucks. So it's a visual, no reading needs to be done, and hopefully that works.
It only works if they pay attention.
Yeah, right. That's, yeah.
Good. Anything else?
No, I think that's great.
Oh,
That's one of the points. How else?
okay,
Just
yeah.
noting that the sign should say that it's prohibiting trucks over 5 tons. So the signs need to say that, otherwise you won't be able to enforce it.
Tonnage.
Over 5 tons.
Okay.
Because we have all the other streets as well, like 8th Avenue. I'm not quite sure if the 8th Avenue was 2 tons or 5 tons, but it was one of them.
If we were looking at this, I believe all, if not substantially all of them were based upon 5 tons. The ones that are in the code already.
Yeah, okay.
So what is a 5-ton truck? Is that like a Mack truck? One of those?
It's probably a good size.
A car is like 2 tons.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
probably that prime delivery
Okay.
is the maximum that could go in there. Local delivery trucks like that.
UPS trucks.
But anything over that.
Under 5 tons.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah, that would be local delivery type of truck.
Yeah.
You rent, like a little rental truck of some sort.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Oh, that's good, thank you.
What else? Mine is. See, that's my favorite truck. Here's that. Okay. All right. Motion was made and seconded. Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes?
In favor.
Councilwoman Diamond?
Favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Resolution number 25 for 2023 is a resolution accepting a donation in the amount of $500 from Stewards Corporation Holiday Match to be used by the Watervliet Police Department.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
I just have to make one change to that. I'm sorry, this is the right one. I apologize. This one here is the $500 donation from Stewart's Holiday Match. It's for our police department that is doing a recognition breakfast, I believe it is, at the end of the month. And this is to cover a portion of those costs for that event.
Okay. Do you have the date on that, Joe? I think it's in May, isn't it?
I was thinking it was end of April, early May, that time frame.
No, it's not that one. I think it's in May, though.
Because I know I saw the chief send something around to ask police dignitaries.
May 16th. I have May 16th now. Okay. All right, motion made second. Call the roll, please.
Councilman Dawes?
Favor.
Councilwoman Diamond?
Favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Resolution number 26 for 2023 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of a 2006 International Refuse Vehicle to the County of Albany and accepting the supply and installation of approximately 50 feet of guardrail for same.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on resolution number 26 for 2023.
Second that.
So as we all know, this council approved the purchase of a new Kenwood truck, garbage refuge truck, that we'll be getting hopefully early part of next week. And it was due to this 2006 International, where the chassis, the framework, actually was cracked. Albany County has use of that vehicle. We could no longer make it roadworthy based on an inspection that we did. That's how we came upon the failure, because of the cracked frame. Albany County is looking to use that to weld it, but also use that as a chipping truck. So they're going to work on some areas of the county that they'll chip into that and offload it in their yard. We estimated the value to be about $5,000, because what we're going to receive from the county, which was 50 feet of guardrail, and the installation of it was estimated to be that. So this nets everyone out to zero for that. So it's an exchange of supplies and installation for the truck.
Joe, what was the purpose of the guardrail for,
It's my understanding that it was damaged and dented through the course of plowing over the years, and
it needed to be
needed to be replaced with it. I guess we had one of the neighbors up there had talked about it a couple of times, how it came to my attention, and again, at no cost to us.
Oh, it is a cost.
Well, it is a cost,
cost.
so we were gonna get rid of this truck as it was, but
Yeah, I don't remember any of the complaints on it. I must have missed those.
yeah, maybe they didn't come in, but I know they came into DPW and.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
You can see the bubble, right? Okay. Motion made and second. Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes?
Favor.
Councilwoman Diamond?
Favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Resolution number 27 for 2023 is a resolution approving an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Green Island.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on resolution number 27 for 2023.
I'll second that motion.
So this MOU was sent to my office last week by the Village of Green Island. I looked into our records. We had done this in 2019, 20, and 21. I had no record of it being done for 2022. But it is look like the city, or the Village of Green Island, is looking to take this back up for 2023. And it's intermunicipal agreement where we do services back and forth with the Village of Green Island. supply equipment, vehicle uses, labor force, and so on.
Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes?
In favor.
Councilwoman Dodd?
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Resolution number 28 for 2023 is a resolution accepting a donation in the amount of $779.50 from the Watervliet Charitable Foundation to be used by the city of Watervliet for pickleball netting.
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 28.
And I'll second it.
And this is for the offsetting cost. I believe these are for the first set of nets that we got.
Second.
This is March 22nd of 2023 that we have. This is for the second set, so we have a total of 4 now. 4. Okay. So this is the carry, based on the fact that we were expanding pickleball use. We're buying 2 additional nets.
Very
Because of
popular
the-
program.
Because, yes, very popular program.
It is.
I have other people, or partners there.
Right.
Okay. All
That's good.
right, I'll take the, call the roll, please.
Councilman Dawes?
In favor.
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Resolution number 29 for 2023 is a resolution recognizing and supporting New York State Department of State grant program for shared government service between the city of Watervliet and the Albany County Clerk's Office.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on resolution number 29 for 2023.
I'll second that.
Dave Wheatley, Paul Murphy, Amanda Austin, and I met with Albany County Records Management Division. And through the county clerk's office, we are going to be the recipient of a grant to start archiving records, date of births, marriage licenses, payroll records, and various ones. So this resolution is for us to share and work together. I think, Dave, if you remember right, I think there is going to be a potential cost to the city. I think it was
I believe it's 10%.
10% of that, which I believe was going to be somewhere about maybe $20,000.
Yeah,
It was a $200,000 grant.
It was $200,000, $100,000 for the city, $100,000 for the county.
So we're 10,000.
Our 10% is 10,000.
Yeah, it's $10,000. So we hope to learn, I believe it's going to be somewhere about July as to timing, but in the intro for the application process, we're going to be putting together packets, giving them estimated amounts of documents to be stored, and then that goes into the grant, and the county's very positive about the fact that they've gotten a grant every single year they apply for this, so we should be getting that as well.
Now, are they coming, is somebody coming here to scan those documents, or are we doing it, or are we?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a little bit of both with that. We have to put together some boxes. It's DocuStore or something like that, DocStar.
Yeah, they have an outside company.
Yeah, out of Maplewood. But there will be some documents that will be done here. We're also talking about documents that we have, like these items that are in a PDF or a Word form that we'll be able to ship to them. So I think you're going to see a little bit of both of that.
So it's great, it frees up a lot of space, and I know the courts are doing a lot of that.
It will be housed in the cloud at Albany County.
Okay.
So it'll take up none of our city space.
Yeah.
But we have ownership of our records.
Yeah, no, that's great. Okay.
Okay. Call the roll.
Councilman Dawes?
Favor.
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor.
Your Honor, that concludes the new business this evening.
Awesome. All right. Do we have anything for appropriations in the county?
As you know, Amanda is now off on maternity leave. She had a baby boy.
Congratulations.
So she will be out an extended period of time, I believe till end of June, early July, I think it is. So unless you think differently, when there are finance things, I'll have Jenny here covering that position. But if there's not any financial things popping up, I can give summaries on some projects or something that we might do. Unless there's an actual transaction, then I'll have her here.
Okay. All right. We'll move into the public comment period. Maybe
At this time, the mayor and the council have authorized a public comment period. If you wish to address the council, please step forward and state your name and address for the record.
All right, I'll open up the public comment period, but there is no one here to provide or give a public comment, so I'll close the public comment. And our next meeting will be on April 20th.
Yes.
And is there anything else to be brought forward?
I do have a couple, just a couple of quick questions, I think. I saw the sweeper out today uptown, so that was good. Is there a schedule, Joe, for the sweeper that we can let people know?
We can. Normally it follows the garbage routes. You know, it's so, correct me if I'm wrong with this. If we do garbage on, you know, in one section on Monday,
Right.
it's at the other end, and then it circulates back in. So then the Monday's garbage pickup would be the sweeper there. So if you want something, like to post something, is what you're thinking?
I was going to say, if you want to put something on the website maybe, and I was just kind of curious, when
Double check that, Joe.
is,
I don't know if it follows or it's ahead of garbage. right?
So it does Tuesday.
So it does
like
Tuesday, but it should follow. I think it's better to follow it.
It's followed,
because-
yeah.
okay, well,
right, Port Skyler
So that's why it
was
circles back.
Port
Monday
Skyler.
garbage, Tuesday sweeper.
okay.
Yeah.
Monday garbage, Tuesday
Yeah.
sweeper.
Oh, so the following day.
Right,
Following
following
day.
day,
That's why I said
yeah.
it circulates
So if it's a
back.
Monday garbage day, which is usually on Friday in that section, but say Tuesday garbage day, it should be Monday out. Port
Yeah,
Skyler.
yeah.
Port Skyler's a Monday garbage. So
Speaking of that, Joe, what's going on with that snow pass system? Because that was supposed to be the way we would know where, like, residents would be able to figure out where the sweeper is.
Snow pass, I used it in a beta system all winter with it. I looked at it when we were out salting, and I looked at it when we were plowing.
Right.
It actually worked pretty well.
But this was supposed to be for residents, that was the intent of it, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we'll have it out next year for sure.
So it can't be out for the sweeper now?
But we don't have the sweeper hooked up yet. It was only the plow trucks and the salters and things like that were out. I have all the extra systems in our office now, where we're gonna start putting in the garbage trucks and then the sweeper after that. So we don't have them on all our systems as of yet. That was not the plan originally when we got that. We got all the other modules for that, and they're sitting in my office now.
Okay. All right, it's my understanding, I know we were doing it for the plows, and then I thought we were doing it for the sweeper, because I know that was the, where's the sweeper today? If you wanted to know where it was, there you are.
Yeah, because I know people who will actually move their car, if they know
Right.
it's, if they're not working or whatever.
Yeah,
they'll-
if they get in that habit,
Yeah.
of doing so,
Right, it's the same day every week, so. And
I mean, I would love to see it on the sweeper ASAP, if that's all possible.
Okay.
I think that would be really, and I think it would be a good, let's say, introduction to a snow, because when it snows, it's sporadic, and, all of a sudden, nobody would really know how to do it. If this was a test site, the sweeper would actually be a training exercise for
Does it take long
everyone.
to put together? I don't know anything about it.
What's that?
Does it take long to put into equipment or?
We probably, by the time, so the way it worked for the snowplows was Verizon came and hooked them up into the unit. They then had we would send out the unit so they could test it on their system. And then they worked through a couple of days, and then they pushed that information over to SnowPass. Then SnowPass monitored it. The unfortunate thing that happened this year, I don't know how it happened, but they were also doing the city of Gloversville at the same time they were doing the city of Watervliet. And the GIS and GPS got crossed. So we never really got it up and functioning purely until the second storm of this year. But then I monitored it from home at various times when the storm.
Yeah, I didn't know how much detail there was.
Oh, there's a lot of detail. It's the entire, I can send you.
No,
I can
good.
send you some text pictures of what I used to watch in the mornings when they were out salting. It's a very, very, very good system. I'll send it to you guys right now so you can see what it looked like. I know you probably can't see it from here, but this is the grid after it works. So one of the improvements I wanted, this only tells you blue, right? So after all the streets get done, and you know everything's been hit, it comes in blue. But there's times when they go out and do streets as secondary. So I asked them to convert that to like a yellow. So as they're starting to overdo it, then I know what's been completed and what's on the secondary route. So, and then the third pass, if it's a longer storm, would go back to blue or something like that. So, but it was a great system. It worked. There was a lot of communication going between Verizon, Snowpass, and myself during it. But we're past that stage now. So I will definitely get the sweeper on board with it.
Excellent, that's good.
And then right after that, we'll do the garbage trucks.
Okay, and I know it might be a little bit early in the season, and I don't know, when would we look to start paving those streets that we're gonna pave this year, or if there's potholes to be filled or anything like that?
Yeah, so we were working with Albany County, and Albany County was gonna include us in their bid.
Yes.
About 3 weeks ago, Bill Anslow from Albany County said there's something on their law and the way we do things that they could not include us. So they wanted to get through their bid process, which is supposed to be the end of this week. And then once they do that, Bill's gonna come down, work with Katie and I, Mark, Katie and I, and then we're gonna package our RFP with the streets that we already told the council as to who was gonna get done and go from there. So we're really truly about 2 months ahead of where we were last year at this time, putting everything out to bid.
When are we gonna do pothole stuff? Like, when can we start filling potholes?
We could probably start, within this week, coming up.
I mean,
I know
they're
there's
open.
been- They have been opened up. Yeah,
Okay.
there are some people doing it, but we also have mixes that we have, that we have some left over from Colony. So I can get that onto our DPW schedule.
When do they, do you know when they open that plant?
I truly don't know the date that when they opened.
Up here at Red Apple.
Well, wherever.
Well, I know the
wherever you can
plant's,
get the-
I know the plant, I think Albany plant's open. I know. I think they're open. Okay, anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. If there's nothing else, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made and second, call the roll, please.
Councilman Dawes?
In favor.
Councilwoman Donnie?
In favor?
Mayor Patricelli?
In favor. Thank you, everybody. Good night.